He's kind of blocking the
So,
camera.
yeah, perfect. I love it. So this will be episode 6, and we don't have a structure. We don't have an outline. Just really easy. Help me. Easy.
Yeah, right. Easy. Awesome.
So we're just going to chat about Rhett, about dogs, about your Instagram.
Okay.
Cool.
That sounds great.
So you can introduce yourself.
Okay, so my name is Carly. This is my sign name, and this is Rhett. This is Rhett. We are both deaf.
You do again. Your name?
My name is Carly. Carly.
Ah, I see.
Yes. With my curly hair. Rhett, you are pushing the camera. Come here. So yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, happy to. So the plan is that I want to have all sorts of different people in the dog world to come on and just talk about their dogs. That's it. Sure. Super easy.
That sounds great.
So you have an awesome Instagram page. How do people find you on Instagram?
Honestly, I think it's the hashtags, because I use a lot of hashtag deaf dogs. Rhett's Instagram is Rhett the healer with the underscores, I think. Mm-hmm. So yeah. So Rhett _the _healer. And I've done done a poll just asking how did you guys find us? And you know how you get on Instagram, you can scroll on different accounts. So apparently most of these followers have just been scrolling and just have seen Rhett's pictures. So a lot of them just follow from that, hashtags and just friends of a friend and just meeting us out in public too. So just a wide variety of people from all over the world. It is crazy, Australia, Europe, some from Africa. It's just so crazy. Technology I'm just I don't reach out to people. They just find us. So I'm it's crazy. Yeah.
I'm still new in the dog world.
Yeah.
Maybe almost 2 years of training. And the Instagram is very new. It's a couple of weeks.
Yes. And it just grows.
And I love it.
When you have good content, people, they follow that and they get engaged and then they share, especially with your training, people are looking, okay, well, how can I train my dogs to do that? So they look up those hashtags. That's what I've learned. I'm not very tech savvy at all. So I'm just kind of I'll just post whatever. And then, if they find us, they find us. So, yeah.
Let's talk about the training for Rhett. Do you do anything for that? Anything specific?
So when I brought Rhett home from the shelter, I don't even know if it was a shelter, more so, yeah. He was from a really small town and they run things differently than a regular shelter. When I brought him home, he had no training whatsoever. And I myself, I'm not a trainer, so I just kind of did what was best because, I'm deaf, he's deaf. And I was okay, well, I'm going to start off with just training with sign language. Is my language. I'll teach him. So the first thing I taught him was thumbs up, meaning good boy, good job, just anything. So I just did this with lots of body languages, lots of facial expressions. So that way he knew that I was happy, when I approved something. So he picked up on that very quick because I was just in his face, good job, good boy. Yes. And then I coordinated with bathroom. Yes. So every time he went to the bathroom, I'm like, yes, yes, good. Bathroom. So he just, vibe on the excitement. Oh, okay. And he picked up on that really quick with all of the signs that I've taught him. So with all the signs, lots of body languages, lots of facial expressions, being consistent with the sign. And I know a lot of people have asked, well, I don't know sign language. I'm like, it's fine. Just make up something as long as it's consistent. Like, this can be sit. I use sit because that's in American Sign Language. So sit. So like really just for training, instead of doing verbal commands, I'm using sign language. So that's how I taught a lot of that.
The company that I trained with is Fortress K9, and I use all of their methods, their thinking, their system, their command, and I'm a franchise of them. I just have a different name at K9Philosophy. And I like that because that's the reason that I like this company is their building blocks, their foundational philosophy is very strong. And we teach people to use 3 different methods of communicating. So we do verbal, we do the hands and the body language, so sign, and the collar, like the lead. So with just a little bit.
Oh, so different pulls or mean different things.
Very good. And very good.
That's so cool. Because I know some of our followers are deaf and blind. So touch training is amazing. Oh, I've been trying.
Who's Aston? A Touch of Aston?
Yes. We love them. Yes.
So cool.
She posts so many amazing videos of how she teaches and what she teaches. I love her content. Like,
and
amazing.
That's different. And so that's what we teach, the 3 methods, and that's a different, like a 4th. Which is
the touch. Yes.
I love it. That's so cool.
So amazing. Yes. It's just like you can train. There's so many different ways you can train, dogs. It's just the best way that, for them to learn, You know what
else?
All possible. Whatever it is, it's all possible to train.
I'm trying to remember. Another, maybe a 5th is the patterns. I forget the sign, but the patterns, you do it. And that's communication for the dog. So
like
you go
routine?
do the thing, you go to routine. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
And they love it and they learn. Oh, okay. So it's not an idea that we give to them or a command that we tell them, but it does communicate information to them. So
sure.
I love all of the whole scope of the dog world is just, I love it.
Yes.
There's a lot.
I know Rhett gets very annoyed when I do not follow the routines in the mornings. So that's his way of communicating. This is how we do things in the morning. And if I don't follow that, I'm in trouble. But it's all good. Right, Rhett. He is passed out right in front
So
of me.
I deal a lot with with working dogs. So you wake up, you work, you eat, you work. And for us, if I know ahead of time we're going to do something, and if I remember that she knows the routine, and if I know we're going to do something different, I first have to be very clear with her. Like, okay, we're going to do this thing, but watch me. And so a lot of people, they think that like a dog that does have strong obedience, they think that if they give a command and they're walking and the dog does something different, that's disobedience. But sometimes it's not. sometimes it's the
That's
dog.
what they're used to.
They're doing what they think is the right thing to do. So again, it's the thinking about the dogs. So I love it.
The task on their mind is, especially like cattle dogs, they're just constantly, their working minds, just like, German Shepherds and just different breeds of the working breed. Just that constant stimulation of the mind of working is like, there's not always, like they're trying to cause trouble, but it's just like, well, this is what I'm like, I want to work this way,
And they're trying to do the right thing. So they don't understand.
Yes.
That's
very,
fantastic.
very smart dogs. Yes.
How old is Rhett?
He just turned 4 yesterday.
Oh, that's right. A birthday.
Yes. I just picked St. Patrick's Day just because I knew his birthday is in March, but I don't know which day. So I was like, I can remember St. Patrick's Day. So we just celebrate on that day. So he just turned 4. Noticing he's milling down, but he still has that energy, but so nice. Because I think I got him when he was 11 months old. So lots of energy, puppy energy that I was not used to.
Arrow is almost 2.
Almost.
And I want like a little bit to relax.
Yes, and you notice when it's like once they know the routine as they get older, they just kind of just go with it. So it's nice. He demands that we go to the lake every morning and every evening. So we follow that so he can get his lake fixed and, do all his zoomies and just sleep for the rest of the day while I'm working. It's nice. But yes, there's, so asleep. See if you can see him. Hi. See that touch he gets? That's what I taught him as well. Touch means look, or touch means something. He picked up on that quick. That's one of the first things that I taught him when I brought him home was touch. Every time I touch you, because that's how it is in the deaf community, we tap to get attention or wave the lights, so when I touch, he looks. And if he doesn't, and it's like the treat and the praise. So he picked up on that really quick. And then like the waiting, if he's gone, away where I can't like touch him, he like learned to like check in with me so I don't have to, hey, watch me, So it's amazing how he picked up on that to check in, which I feel like is so important for deaf dogs to learn to check in.
And for all dogs.
Yes.
She does not. She won't. If she's out and running or working, she primarily will feel the collar. So if we're connected with the leash, she'll run and she'll feel, oh, okay, he's back there. So she knows that I am with her because the lead. But if there's no lead, she's almost primarily vocal. So we have a strong communication vocally. I can say, pick that up. No, drop it. Other one. Yeah, that one, pick it up. So, but she doesn't look at me when she does it because she knows that I will talk a lot. But if I'm not talking a lot, she just keeps going.
Yes, that's cool. So
I need to work on that. Yeah.
Just checking in. Yes, I know. Yeah, because a lot of people who adopt a deaf dog or plan to, I always encourage them to start off with checking in and a thumbs up so they know, like he waits when how a lot of like dogs will just run out the door when they open, it's like,
I know.
They went out. It's like, wait, well, of course he can't hear. So I taught him to wait when I open the door, wait. So he sits. Okay, can I go to the car now? So it's, like people think, oh, what if it's a deaf dog? Like, what if he runs out? But that's the primary of the training part, teaching, like starting off with the back door, training him to wait before you always look at me before you try to run off. So he just picked up on that, which is, I was like, wow, I guess I did something right. Or he probably just like, okay, I stay close to this person. So it's always training and always having to challenge him with new vocabs or new things to learn, but I'm like trying to figure out what's the next thing I want to challenge him in training that I know how to train. Yeah.
Oh, do you do agility, like balancing on a beam or like a small spot to climb onto?
We did that when I was living in Glen Rose. They had something that was really small and he did it and he did well. I just never kept up with it. I know there's so many like different dog sports. I would love to. We have some friends that have done dock diving for dogs. I think I'm just curious of like how he would do with that. But I feel like he would. I think he would like agility the most.
You could
I just
you could do it at home. Just little boxes, and then just tell him climb on the box and put all 4 feet on the box, and then sit on the box, and then stand on the box, and then easy off, and then quick off, and up, down. So
that's a good idea. That could be something new that I can teach him. Yes, that's a good idea because I think he would like that new challenge.
Then you could do a big box and a little box.
Yes, I like that idea. Just like something in the backyard. Oh yeah, for sure. I'm gonna have to do that then because he did really well.
I do it inside the house. I just put a box, get on the box.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I haven't even thought of that. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna try that with Rhett because I feel like he would enjoy doing that. It's that mental.
Yes. So I have a lot of clients that they'll say, my dog needs to run to become tired. And I'll tell them, well, it's not necessarily true. So if you give your dog a task, a work command, and it's easy physically, then just sit down. Okay, got it, easy. But when the time starts going and they're sitting and they're like, oh, okay. So mentally, we can still make them tired, even if you live in like a small apartment. So the mental stimulus of an easy command, but done over a long time is also a good option too. Yes. So on the days that you can't make it to the lake, just give an easy task, but try and hold that task out.
That's what people forget is, the mental stimulation. Yes. Not always the physical part. Yes. No, that's true.
We say that it's kind of like that our dogs are kind of like professional athletes, where if you have a professional athlete and they're strong and they're big and they're tough and they're fast and they're smart and they run every day, then they're able to run every day. So now you need more. So try something different for the mental stimulus instead of always needing more physical.
For sure. Yes, definitely. Like you see those like puzzle games, the little puzzles where you hide. He loves going on egg hunts. Instead of me, so yeah, I'll hide treats in different eggs. Those plastic eggs, like those Easter eggs. I'll hide them around the house and I'll sign, "Where's the egg? Where's the egg?" And he goes, finds him, and he cracks it and he eats it. He loves that game. That's like probably his most favorite.
I am going to do that.
Yes, do
tonight.
it. It's fun. Like instead of, and I mean, I'm not, nothing wrong with like the little puzzle games, I see, but I like actually like having him find the egg. Yes. So I had the egg. I would sign the egg, show him the egg so he can coordinate. And I guess just over time, he's seen me sign where. And then, oh, there's dad. Yes. So he coordinated the where because he already knew that. And then I taught him the sign for egg. So he coordinated, oh, Mom says where, I already know that one. And then he just learned the sign for egg. I taught him that, I think, 2 years ago on Easter. And he picked up on that day of how to play that game. And it was just so fun.
Well, it's because of the food.
Yes, I know.
Remember.
Wait a minute, I smell something. Yes. Yes. It was just cool to see him watch him open it. He knew to lightly crack it and get the treats instead of just eating the whole thing. And I was like, I'm glad you did that. Because I didn't think of that. He could have ate the whole thing. But no, he loves it still to this day. It's like my mental stimulation for him for games.
I tell her to find the tennis ball.
Yes.
And sometimes she can see it and she'll pick it up, or she does big figure eight.
Huh.
And she'll smell and we'll go, oh, okay. Oh, okay. And she'll find it and she loves it. She goes nuts.
So cool.
We're on a big farm, 10 acres. And I'll have her sit and I'll hold her eyes and I'll take the ball and I'll throw it and I'll wait for it because she can hear it bounce. And she can see it if she's watching and she'll kind of know the area. But on some days I'll cover her eyes, I'll throw it and I'll wait and it settles down. And I go, so I say, go get it and pick it up is different than go find it by using your nose. They're two different commands.
Interesting.
So one is chasing it. Mm-hmm. Another is smelling for it.
Interesting.
And if you're trying to do this with your dog, when you see them put their nose to the ground, you praise them. You say, "Oh, good smell, good search, good whatever." And if you see them watch a ball, you can say, "Just go get it." So the timing is important. So if they're running and I see it and they bite it, that's good. If you're training differently, as soon as their nose goes to the ground, we can't teach them how to smell, but we can see that they're smelling and we praise that.
Interesting. I want to teach Rhett that. Okay. So every time he smells.
Yeah, he goes down to the ground. Then you praise. Good.
Yeah.
Good search. Good search.
Okay. I have to come up with a sign for that. Search. Because if he's searching, well, you know what I mean? His nose and his eyes are at the ground. So I'm going to have to do a different sign, so while he's doing it, because this is a sign for search, so maybe I could do this in his face. I don't know. I'm just thinking to myself, how can I teach him when he's smelling? That is so cool. I like that. Another training idea for me.
Hot coffee.
Yes. I already have mine this morning. I know Rhett has to play ball during mealtime. He does not eat his whole food at once. He must play ball, eat, play ball, and eat. And that's his only, most of the time he plays ball is during meal times. Just interesting. I don't know.
Where do you feed him? Inside the house or outside or?
Inside. He will not play fetch or ball outside. If it touches the grass or the ground, and then he'll go to sleep. It's so weird. I had to teach him to play fetch when I adopted him. And of course, I taught him in the house. So when I brought it outside, he's like, no, ball inside. So I screwed up on that part, but Good thing nothing bad has been broken or anything. So yeah, he will only play fetch inside. So weird. I don't know.
I have a controversial question to ask. It's not bad or a secret or anything or scary, but have you seen, especially on social media, have you seen people get very emotional about how you deal with Rhett and how you teach and train and play with Rhett?
Meaning like, oh,
Meaning,
like y'all are deaf, or what do you mean?
No, like when people, like when they don't like the way you do what you do, like you shouldn't do that with your dog. Have you ever seen that?
Really, the reason and the only thing really is with the muzzle.
Oh,
I did some muzzle training with Rhett.
Yeah, I saw.
Just for his safety. And I did get some private messages of like, Rhett is so sweet. He doesn't need a muzzle. Like, he doesn't need, like, muzzles are bad. You know, like, it's just that stigma of muzzle means bad dog or muzzle means aggressive. I feel like that muzzle can be controversial for a lot of people.
So. That's probably a lot of it, I think, is I don't know the sign, but the tools that you use with your dog.
Tools. Yeah. Tools. Yeah.
A lot of people don't like her prong collar.
That's also very controversial.
So I understand that a lot of people use it wrong and they abuse it. And I think that's bad.
Yes.
But I have a dog that's I don't know this service dog. I don't know the sign, but
service dog.
And I need her to be 100% working. So it's really important that I have a tool that works really well. So if she goes to run after something and I'm holding the leash, she will correct herself. I don't have to do it. And she's very strong. So if she's running and I have her on a harness and I have a health issue, which is the reason I have her we do stability and mobility for my health. And if I need to lean on her and she runs, it's really hard to have that tug of war. So I try to always care for my dog and use it the right way. But there's so many people that, how dare you? And they're just they're mean and they're stuck up.
Yes.
So I've seen a lot of that.
Yes. I know a lot of people don't like it, but it's just like the way you use it and how you train it and how, there's so many factors instead of labeling, oh, the owner's bad for using, the prong colors, but there's so many situations and reasons.
I see people too that they think the prongs are really bad, but they will like taser their dog with electrocution. And I go, what's the difference?
Yes. I did use, I called it the e-collar.
There's different types.
Yeah. I had bought an e-collar for Rhett, but I had never needed to use it because he's right here. So, but I know a lot of people will train with that as well. And that's also, controversial. So it's like, well, just how you use it and how it's, being used, makes the difference, so, yeah, definitely. Sorry. But yeah. Oh, she's sleeping back there? Yeah.
She's tired too.
Yeah. It's Friday. It's been a long week. Yes.
And she now has 2 other dogs in the room. So crate. And so she's hearing them. And she's feeling the crates move. And the other dogs are kind of like anxious.
Working on the crate training for them.
Yeah. Well, crate training and a lot of other tasks.
Yes. I'm sure she's been, oh my goodness.
I think I always wonder, and we tell our clients that yes, dogs have emotion. They're different than human emotion, but they have emotion. So I always wonder, like, is she jealous, or is she like, what does she think the other dogs are here for? Like, does she think they're part of the pack, or she might
Yeah.
know that they're here for work? Because we've always, since the day I got her, we're always training around other dogs. So I think
Interesting.
I'm like, does she think this is work? Does she think this is the new family? Like, does she think I'm
Yeah.
a new one and get rid of her? Like, I always wonder.
Yeah. Do you notice that does she show a lot of like body language of like expressive? You know what I mean? Like to some extent, like I feel like Rhett is so expressive.
I
Like
see
he will
yes
tell
and
me
no.
what he's feeling. Okay. I'm
So
just
she has a
curious.
lot, but it's always the same. She looks at me and she's
Hmm.
ready. She's like, "Are we going to work?" And that's it.
Yes. Okay.
Or sleeping.
Hmm.
So yes, it's a
Interesting.
lot of emotion, but it's a lot of the same emotion.
Got it. Yes. Yes. It's interesting because, like, Rhett is my first deaf dog.
Uh,
I feel like he's more body language expressive of how or what he thinks about what's going on. Or if he's mad, he will straight out ignore me, won't even come near me. I'm not kidding. It is so weird. But then if there's other dogs around, he gets clingy. You know what I mean? Or he'll just give me a look, or his hair. He'll express with his hair, the fur. I don't know. I don't know if you can hear. I think he's snoring. Can you hear? No, I feel. That's why I didn't know if you can hear. It's just interesting. Or he'll bark expressively,
uh-huh.
like if he's mad, or especially he'll bark if I don't follow the routine. He'll like nip, nip.
Uh-huh.
Do not follow. You're not following. It's
Hey.
time to go. Yep. It's interesting. The nip means you're not following what we're supposed to be doing right now. It's kind of cool.
That's another question. Do you want to talk about the other dogs that you post about on Instagram to try and help?
Yes. So I started off with like mostly focusing on deaf dogs needing homes because there's so many deaf dogs. A lot of shelters don't know, especially if there's so many dogs. They don't do the hearing testings,
They're busy.
Yes. There's so many deaf dogs. There's rescues that will take on deaf dogs. There's a lot of people who just like rehome deaf dogs when they find out that they're deaf. So there's a lot that are being posted on Facebook. I need to rehome. I can't provide. It's just the lack of knowledge, really. I'm like, well, the deaf dog is just like any other hearing dog. Like, but it's just the knowledge that they don't know. But lately I've been helping with a lot of South Texas dogs. That has opened up I've learned so much of what's going on in South Texas. So I've been working a lot with San Diego, Texas dogs, just transporting them. Mostly we're transporting out of state. Yesterday I transported 6 dogs out of there's a lot of transporters involved. So there was one from Corpus Christi.
I saw that. I didn't know. I'm so slow. Oh my God.
You're good. You're good.
And Diego, I was thinking California.
That's what a lot of people know is here in South Texas.
I didn't know.
Small,
I saw that on your story.
So a lot of those towns like Alice, even Houston, Corpus Christi, like just down in the valley. So I'm sure you've heard about Houston dogs. Like there's just oh boy,
Tell me.
It's the horror stories down there in Houston. They're just a lot of these. I mean, Texas, I believe, is number 1 with the highest euthanized list. They just euthanize dogs they're healthy. One day at the shelter, euthanize. That's the same thing with Santonio. They just euthanize 1 day or 2 days that they're there. Poof, next. It's just sad. And there's a lot of medical need dogs that need medical attention, like they don't have the funds or they just, but we for San Diego, we've been raising our own funds to get these dogs vetted. Cool. But it's just so hard because we've been doing the GoFundMe and just been relying on that to help all these dogs get vetted. Because, when you...
The name? Do you have a name?
For the GoFundMe? Uh-huh. I believe it's San Diego, Texas Dogs. It's under, what is it? Urgent Pets on Instagram. They post a lot of the updates that we've been helping with. I'll have to send you the link of the Instagram that we're working with to help these South Texas dogs. But yeah, it's just been so helpful because we were able to raise enough money to get all of the dogs vetted because they were getting, they will get sick. They're puppies, their immune system is not strong, so we're trying to raise money to get them transported to New England and Maine. We have 9 dogs getting adopted out of South Texas to be transported up there.
To a family?
Yeah, all families.
Oh,
yes.
Cool.
So, and hopefully 3 more can catch on the ride. So we're trying to raise funds for that so we can get them out because they are not going to get adopted down here. It is such a rural town. Like it's just all breeding. So they get the dogs that are being bred and not at the shelter. So they just end up dying in the shelters because nobody adopts. So that's where we just volunteers. We don't even work at. That's what it's been so hard getting rescues to help us. They're like, well, you don't work at the shelter. It's like, well, it's not a shelter, So it's just been very hard to find rescues who would take these dogs, and they won't take them without getting vetted. So we're having to raise the funds, not the animal control, So it's been hard, and that's the case for a lot down south. It's just such a rural, so in Houston area, like the stories, I don't know if I should be, but there's just a lot of horror stories of these dogs, what they've gone through, and a lot of street dogs. And it's just so interesting. Like up north, they don't even see, it's hard to adopt or get a dog up there, which is so like, what? Go take all of our Texas dogs, So it's a whole nother world that I've been recently gotten involved. Now it can get so overwhelming, and there's philosophy, emotional nights of just knowing that these dogs are not okay and they're relying on us to help them. So I've been very busy with that. So hopefully we'll get these 9 dogs transported up to New England next week. Hopefully. So we'll see, because we had a whole group 2 months ago. 1 went to Colorado, 3 went to New England. So I just gotten involved in that just because I shared on Rhett's Instagram, and that's how I got into it. Because I asked for help. I have 2 fosters that want to foster, these South Texas dogs. So I networked, and they're like, oh, we have this. I'm like, okay. And then, you just dive in there, and it's like, oh my gosh. And you hear, it's just like, there's a lot of people don't know, what's going on in South Texas. So, but education, it's just, you don't know until you hear about it or learn about it. So I just know Houston and San Antonio are drowning. So anything helps, really. Even transport helps, because there's people who want to adopt, but they can't because it's so far. So we would literally get we got a train of transporters from Texas all the way up to Washington, D.C. So we can pass the dog all the way up, so one person doesn't have to drive. So I think it's called the K9 Transport or something that we've created on Instagram. So it's so cool. All these people were like jumping in. I'll help to transport from this distance to this distance. So it's been amazing, like what you can grow on, on Instagram. Like it's such a community, and it's beautiful. So yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to add? Talk about?
I don't know if you've heard, but we are soon publishing a children's book about Rhett.
Yeah, I did. I heard about that.
I'm so excited. So right now it's being illustrated by a deaf illustrator in the UK.
Cool.
She is illustrating our children's book right now, and hopefully it'll be published in September. So we are so excited. We have not announced the title yet. We plan on doing it this week because I'm just like slowly doing that. I've been raising funds for that because I did not know how expensive it is to write a book and get it illustrated. Like, oh my goodness. Yeah. So I've been raising money for that and then just updating people on our book. So we're so excited. So it's just written about Rhett being his life at the shelter and his life as a deaf dog and learning sign language, from a deaf owner, all so cool. Written in his perspective. Like it's a key book. I'm excited. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm excited.
Yes.
I'm going to buy 10 of them and hang them out.
No, I'm so excited to like start doing story times because I'm a teacher myself. So a lot of my students who are deaf and hard of hearing are very excited. So most of them got to meet him. He was invited to a public speaking at a school, and that's where I worked. So a lot of our deaf and hard of hearing kids got to meet him, and they were so fascinated. I didn't know there was deaf dogs. I'm like, yeah, there's deaf cats, there's deaf horses, there's deaf of everything. So it was just cool to, educate them on deaf dogs and just sharing my experiences growing up. So, hello, you waking up?
Good morning.
Yeah, he's up now. Say hi. You've been sleeping this whole thing. And he goes back to sleep. What do you do? As long as he's calm, I'm cool.
Usually she'll lay here while I'm talking on the microphone, and she'll keep her eyes open. Today she's out.
So I've been working. I am tired.
You and me both.
Yes. No. Do you have any other questions about like deaf dogs, anything?
Just thankful this was wonderful.
Yes. No, thank you for inviting us to be on here. And yeah, thank you.
Cool. We're finished. I'm going to go ahead and stop. And again, thank you so much.
Yes, of course.
Awesome.
No, that was fun.
We will see you on Instagram. Bye, Rhett. You still there? Oh, there he is. See you, Rhett. Bye.